Hello, we have a grading result from PSA. The total value of the raw cards was $2,128 and about $800 for grading fees. So let's see how I did. The first card up is Mega Lucario. I got a 10. I'm going to show you what's wrong with the cards, whether I get a 9s or 10s on these, so you can learn from that. That one was crispy clean. This Espeon got a 9, and the reason is my centering is not great. Left to right, it's definitely left heavy. When I measured it, I thought it was close enough to give it a shot, but I blew it on that one. This is a really cool Pikachu, Japanese Fukuoka, and it got a 10. It is crispy clean. No problems with that one. Then we have the Lucario V-Star. I'm going to show you why this one got a 9, I think at least. It's this back corner right here has a little bit of a slash in it. Coming right across here. Do you see that? Just a slight little cut there. And there's also little micro scratches. You can see one right there and one right there. I mean, that's pretty daggone picky. I was kind of hoping for a 10 on this one, as all cards, but I think that's the only thing that kept this one from getting a 10. Next up is another Lucario, and this one did get a 10. And it's looking real good. You want to check these corners here on the VMAXs where there's lots of paint on these front corners and see if there's any paint loss. See, that one looks good. This one doesn't have the little issue on the back corner. All right, so that one looks clean. Next up, we have a beautiful Gengar from Dark Phantasma. Japanese got a 10. That one's nice and clean. We got a Mega Lucario Japanese. Also really nice and clean. Some of these Japanese cards do quite well with Beckett and getting black labels and pristines and stuff. All right, next up we have Garchomp. This one got a 9. If you zoom in very, very closely here, you can see that corner is a little bit rugged around the edges there. You see it? Also, the bottom corner. And these are always the first things I do with these black border cards. These full art ones that have all this black in the corner here is check all that paint loss that may have happened there. That's probably what got it on this one. But I believe that's probably has a good chance of a CGC 10. I'll see if it's even worth sending in to CGC though. Okay, we got an Eevee. This one got a 10. But look at the centering here. I mean, I'm going to turn it sideways. The thickness of the bottom is consistent enough with the sides to give it a 10. Although I do think the bottom is not perfectly aligned. I think it's definitely close enough. Obviously, it got a 10. So this one wound up being nice and clean. So definitely agree with that 10. Of course, I always agree when I get a 10, right? And then Single Strike got a 10. Let's take a look at these. I mean, look at that corner there. That one's worse than the 9 I showed you a minute ago. I think I would have given this a 9 and the other one a 10 if I had to pick. Because look at that corner. And look at this corner. I mean, there's no difference to me. Coming around the edge there, there's definitely some issues there. So I think that 9 was a Slowking, I believe. No, this is Slowking. Whatever the other card was with Garchomp with the black border. I think that one might be able to squeak through a 10 somehow. Slowking, though, did get a 10 also. Let's take a look close up here. Not perfect. There's still certainly some paint loss down there, but this is at a very close magnification. Let's take a look at this corner. I mean, you can see slight bits of paint loss right around the corner where the black stops and it can kind of get silver. But it's so microscopic, I think, because from this angle, it doesn't look bad. From this angle, I mean, you kind of can see it a little fuzzy around the corner there. But I got a 10, so it's still considered mint, as according to PSA on those. We got a Charizard coming in mint. This one is nice and clean. one of the things I always do is check the back corners, because the back corners are oftentimes the only issues that you have with cards. You see that one's a little bit fuzzy, but it squeaked through. So it wasn't perfect. So, check your back corners. We got a Charizard in a 10. This one's nice and clean. The Japanese cards, I looked ahead and just knew that they would probably come in nice and clean. Look at this Marnie. Got a 10. And the Japanese secret rare. Here we go. Bouffalant. And this one, I'm going to check this corner right here. There's just, no, those little specks are on the case. So I think that's okay there. Anyway, that one looks good. I don't see any issues with that one. A nice 10 on that one. Next up, Meloetta. Now, I did notice a print line with Meloetta earlier. I wanted to show you a print line coming down right around here. Man, I can't even find it on here. Let me see if I can find it again. I mean, it's right here through the bottom of this P. I mean, it's so faint, but you are allowed to get away with one faint print line. You just got to trust me. There's a print line running across there. So if you are looking to grade with one print line on the back and that's the only issue, go for it. I think you can get 10s if that's the only issue. Well, my second Mega Lucario did get a 9, and they might have got me on the top to bottom centering here. If you look at the top, it does look a bit thinner than the bottom, maybe a lot thinner. But I take a chance on some of these cards. That must have been it, because the backs of these Mega Evolutions have been super clean, I've noticed. So it's probably got me on the centering there on that one. I thought it was worth a chance. It was close enough. Sometimes they give it to you. If the rest of the card looks good, they'll give it to you oftentimes. Not on that one, though. I wish I could have given you an example of when they would have given it to you with it being slightly off on that one. But see, look at this one. This one also looks, a bit top heavy. You see, top heavy. And the rest of the card super clean. And they gave it to me. So, I mean, this is another card I could probably try to send back in. Just give it another shot. Okay, we got a beautiful Zekrom here. I did get a 10, which is really awesome. And I think this one was just a real clear winner, because the back corners are looking good here. Everything's looking good with that one. Maybe that would have been a good BGS play. Regigigas. Looks pretty good. But I did get a 9. So let's check out what's happening down here. You see any paint loss down there and among all that white? I'm seeing maybe some paint loss right here, as well as right there. Let's see about the other corner. You gotta check these white corners on these V-Stars for paint loss. And this one, just a little bitty speck right there. I mean, the centering looks good enough. So this is not a valuable enough card to try again. But, I mean, they're being a little extra picky on this one. Maybe this corner. Look at that little dot there on the corner. That might have been what contributed to it, but that's pretty picky. That edge is not super clean. It's a little bit frayed. But, I mean, that's not a high enough value card to try again. My Espeon did nicely, though. Let's see how these black corners look at. Minimal paint loss, minimal fraying on that edge. Same thing here. Looking pretty good. All right, so that's a true 10. Thank you, PSA. Grotle, not a super high valuable card, but in a 10, it does pop it right up there. I mean, sometimes you can see a little bending of the corner here, right there. Let me see if I can get a better angle. Right here on the corner. It's a little bit crimped up from where it was cut. You see how the light shines off right there and there, where the crimping is cut around those corners. Sometimes that's a problem, but usually it's not, and you can get away with that. Let's see what it looks like on the back, though. I mean, a little bit of whiting in that very top corner. So if you're wondering what you can get away with, this is a good example, and here's the proof right here, that you can get away with a little bit of whiting in those corners. And that's one of the valuable lessons we can learn from this video. Oh my goodness, look at this little issue right here. You see it? Before I can point, there it is, right there. That was able to sneak through. You see that? Oh, and look at this corner. Let me, sorry, I'm shaking here. Let me get it. Right, there we go. Two hands so I can hold it steady here. Look at that. That was able to pass through for a 10 still. All those little issues with the corners. Look, 10. There you go. That was a valuable lesson to learn here. Now, sometimes those won't get a 10. That'll be a 9 sometimes, depending on the grader. So, that grader felt good in that moment, and they only take 20 to 30 seconds to look. I mean, I'm looking closer than they are in some instances, probably. These corners down here is another 10, another 10 with these black border corners. The V's will get paint loss down there, so you gotta watch out for that. Well, that one does look like a 10 to me. I'll agree on that one. Charizard also got a 10. The centering looks pretty good, so that's why I contributed to getting a 10, I'm sure. I mean, if you look really super close at this edge, there is a little bit of fraying on that corner. You can see it there. Just a little bit of fraying. That's something I could have just taken my finger and cleaned off with my finger. That fraying would have come off. But I was able to get away with it without doing that, which is nice, because I don't like to have to mess with the cards when I don't have to. So I agree with PSA on that. That is definitely a 10. Whimsicott did come in at a 9, and I'm going to say, did they get me on centering on the front? Does it look extra bottom heavy to you? I mean, if so, I mean, it certainly is a little bit, but is that bad? And then slightly, the slightest bit right heavy? I don't know. That's kind of close, kind of picky, because the back is pretty clear. I don't send in these lower value cards unless I'm really confident in them. So when they come back as 9s, I'm like, what happened? I mean, that centering, I measured this one beforehand. It should have been at least right on the 45-55. But I'll double check it and make sure. A 9 must have been the centering. Gulping. So I guess the lesson is, if it's a lower value card, you might not want to take the risk on the centering. If it's a higher value card, it's definitely worth the risk. So I got me a 10 here. And the crimping on the corner is, you see how the corners pop up there just a little bit with a little extra white shimmer when the light comes down? They don't mind that. So don't worry about that in my experience. This one does have a little bit of corner whitening to it. You see it there in the corner. So usually means there's more, and certainly there is. Look at that. A little bit more up here, and I do think I see a print line coming down. Do you see it? It's so close to magnification, any little movement that I make really jars the card. You see this print line coming right down here? So it has a print line and little white corners there. That one's not as bad, but you can argue that is maybe a little bit of white corner. Came a 10. Came out of 10. Okay. This one, though, hit a 9 on my Flannery. Sweet, sweet Flannery. I don't know. The centering seems good enough on the front, because the trainer cards oftentimes will have, whatever reason, pretty clean backs. I think this is just, I don't know. You see that blue stuff there on the card? I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. Because some of these lint, see, it comes off, and some of it doesn't. That might have looked like a little ink spot. That could have been the problem. It's just something that comes off. Yep, see, it's gone. But this little spot right here, these little spots here, that must have been the issue. And there's a little scratch there. I don't know. That's pretty picky. I think that would definitely get a 10 with CGC. Got another Slowking. Let's check our corners again. Look at that. The corner definitely does have some whiting there. You see that? It's so hard to find these without paint loss. And this one managed, oh, look at that one too. Managed to get a 10. It really makes me think that that one card that we had much earlier, the Garchomp. Let's go back to the Garchomp. This Garchomp got a 9. Is that worse than this Slowking? Here's the Garchomp again. I don't know. I guess that is kind of chewed up a bit. Now let's compare it to the 10, which is the Slowking. I mean, this is pretty bad too, right? Look, it's pretty chewed up on both also. I don't know. It makes me think this Garchomp shouldn't have been a 9, that it should have come in on a 10. Unless they're getting me on the centering. But I think I'm okay on the centering there. It looks good just viewing it with my eye. I mean, I checked the centering before I sent them off. I'm not going to send something that's bad off. So, I mean, I'll take the 10s. I'll take them. Here we have stained glass birds. And we want to check the yellow on these corners. That's a big issue with paint loss down. Well, they just really heavily paint these. I just see a couple little black dots. I'll show you one that's out of place. Like that little black dot right there is different from these little shadow dots here, which is meant to be there. That little paint loss black dot is different, but that's so minor. So I definitely agree with this being a 10. Now, it may not black label with BGS, but it is definitely coming in. I can be on board with this being a 10. And when you're looking for the centering here, it's between the black line and the edge of the card, that little margin there. It should be consistent all the way around the card. And this one got a 10. I've gotten 5 with this one here, 5 10s in a row on my stained glass birds. I was on a streak. Before that, I had like a couple that came in as 9s. And I thought, oh no, I don't have the touch anymore with my stained glass. But then I came back with a vengeance here. Look at that corner. Just the slightest little bit of wear around the corner there. Let's check this one out again. Well, I mean, this is quite a bit more, because look, this one has a dot right there. And look around this edge, just all the way around that edge and corner. Lots of paint loss there. I feel like that's a lot. But when you hold it back this far, it's not as noticeable. But I can still see it if I'm looking for it, right? I mean, if you're looking for it. Backs of these are always, almost always pretty clean. So this was not as strong of a 10 as the other one, but they're both 10s. So got another 10. This is a good submission. Got quite a good gem rate on this one. And I think I got arguments for at least 1 9, maybe 2 that I should crack and send back in. I mean, it's a little bit top heavy. Definitely a little bit top heavy. If you look at the text here, you want there to be a little bit more space below the text than above it in this border, in the silver border. And this one is actually slightly more space above it, which means it's going to be top heavy, and it is. But it must have been clearly within that 45-55 because I got it. And it's looking real nice on the back. All right, got one more. Jellicent, got a 10. Not a huge card, but a 10's a 10. I think my Zekrom was probably my biggest card, wasn't it? Followed by maybe the stained glass birds here, but this one's looking real nice and clean. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.